How do the clients respond to this? Because you see it, this is common enough in the mining industry where there's a lot of acquisitions, there's a lot of mergers. So what about the communication to the client? How is that approach? Now, I don't know, either one of you could take it, or maybe both of you can add some thoughts to it. The outward facing part of doing these acquisitions, expanding your business, but also delivering the service to those existing clients.
I think from my opinion of that, in lots of instances, particularly in the early days, customers were very, very supportive of it because they really, they had businesses that they were comfortable with dealing with, and they wanted more capability in those businesses. So in some instances, it was really demand from customers and comments from customers and requests from customers that directed us to target particular businesses or to look at particular areas in the market to expand into. In a lot of cases, customers had a lot of different needs, and they value HE parts for different reasons. So it was really about exploring all of those and working out what acquisitions would be a nice strategic fit for the business, a nice fit for our capabilities, and would enhance our offering to our existing customers and help us attract more customers.
We spend a lot of time understanding our customers and talking to them, trying to be close to their customers, being a valued partner with them, understanding the strategies around their fleets, how they are changing their fleets out, what are the problems they're having, as I mentioned earlier. So that interaction really is to get closer and closer to the customer, to almost become a part of their team. And through that approach, they phone us, they contact us when they have issues that they think we could address for them. And that interaction is really very valuable for us and for the customer, especially when you start looking at global customers that are looking for solutions that come from an agile business like ours.
Actually, Gordon, I was going to ask you, is the Australian market similar to like places like Canada, certain places in the US, where it's difficult to find skilled labor for these producers? Is it the same setup in Australia?
Yeah, finding skilled labor, after COVID, we all suffered, I think, globally with resource shortages. So looking after our people from a employee value proposition point of view is very important. Projecting the business as an equal opportunities business, and elements like that is all encompassed in our employee value proposition to attract staff. We also look at moving staff around globally. We have moved people from Australia to the US to help business. We've moved people from Zambia into Australia, and many other moves like that where we share expertise and resource pools depending on what the needs are globally.
Does the expansion, and Ashley, maybe you'd like to add to this, is when you're expanding the way HE Parts is, the first thought could be, oh, well, it gets harder and harder because you're getting bigger and bigger. But then you just brought up a point, Gordon, that you actually pull more and more resources and you become a more attractive employer. And that, do you find that's the case as you get bigger? Is it actually a little bit easier to find people because you're doing these acquisitions and building these teams? Or is it still quite a strain at a global scale right now?
I think, look, definitely there's a strain at a global scale. There's been some great people coming with acquisitions, and as HE Parts grows in capabilities and it becomes more of an employer of choice. Some of the other larger companies can attract employees, particularly in the technical trades area, for example, because they have a complete offering of whole of machine or whole of truck or whole of a number of different aspects. And as small individual businesses that were very specialised, you find that you can't actually offer a full trade, for a person to be trained in, say, heavy diesel fitting. Whereas these days, with the capabilities that we've added to the business and with the expansion of the added of those areas, we're now a much better employment opportunity, particularly for a young person leaving school. We can offer an apprenticeship in its completion, and a person can rotate through our different areas and finish their apprenticeship fully trained without having to go to another company or to be lacking in an area of their training. So that's definitely an advantage in growing. Same can be said probably in the engineering space and in the sort of the higher technical areas. Success breeds success, I suppose you could say that.
Yeah.
And as you get larger, word does get around, and people have heard of the business and are interested in coming to join us.